Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 50 of my homebrew journey. Now, for this very special occasion, I forgot to charge the batteries in my camera, so I'm on the boil now. So I'm just draining my grains, but I'm on the boil, so we'll have to quickly whiz through all the nonsense and let you know what I'm doing. So basically, what I'm doing today is a French Saison. I thought something special, and I'll have a go at one of those because I got some Mangrove Jack M29 French Saison yeast the other day at this Homebrew shop, and I thought I'll give that a go. Everyone talks about Saisons and how good they are, so I'll have a whack at that. Now this yeast, it's pretty special stuff, I think. It says attenuation very high, 85 to 90%. I'll get onto the stats in a minute, but if I get 90% attenuation, that's going to be a hell of a beer. Flocculation medium, so I suspect it to be a bit hazy. And alcohol tolerance is 14%, which is stronger than the New World Ale yeast. I think that only goes up to 12%, which is what my Twinkles Czar Imperial Stout is just fettling with now under the stairs in that there brewery. And it also says, for best results, ferment at 26 to 32 degrees C. Now on the front it says, it's a distinctive spicy, fruity and peppery beer. That's what you get from this yeast. So I think the high temperatures will help with that as well. But here's the general nonsense about it. It says, most commonly a pale, refreshing, highly attenuated, moderately bitter Belgian ale with a very dry finish, typically highly carbonated, and using non-barley cereal grains and optional spices for complexity. Well, I'm not doing that, I'll tell you about that in a second. Not overly phenolic. Less common variations include both lower alcohol and higher alcohol products, as well as darker versions. So basically, you know, you do your beer, and a lot of the time it depends on the yeast that you use. I'm absolutely certain of it. So it says aroma, fruity, spicy, hoppy. Today I'm using some Hallertau, like I say, I'll get onto that. Often reminiscent of citrus fruits such as oranges and lemons. Wow. Okay. Herb and spice notes. Not typically spice, yeast, hops and grain providing the character, but spices are allowed if they provide a complementary character. Continental base malts are typical. Get onto that, like I said. Standard strength, pale colour, highly attenuated, hoppy, bitter Belgian blonde ale with a stronger yeast character. At super strength and pale colour, similar to a Belgian triple, but often with a more of a grainy rustic quality, whatever that means. And then it's got some bad statistics. So what I did is I put it all into Brewer's Friend. It's on my computer there, it's plugged in at the minute. And so what I've got is got 9 litres of water, and then I've added 1.25 kilos of Pilsner malt. I think it's a Belgian one. It says Euro Pils on the packet. I think it's a Belgian one. And then 100 grams of Crystal 60 just to give it a little bit of colour. And that gets it in the guidelines on Beer Smith, whatever it's called. And then, like I say, I've got a third of a packet of the old M29. And whilst I'm onto the boil now, I've just got 5 grams of Hallertau to go in at 60 minutes. 5 grams of Hallertau to go in at 10 minutes. I mashed in, popped it all in. You don't need to see a video of that really, you know, you put some grain into water and mix it up so it's not got any dough balls in it. I took pH reading after 15 minutes and it was 5.8, so I added 1.5 millilitres of lactate. Have I still got it with me? No, I haven't. 1.5 millilitres, and that got it down to 5.4, which is absolutely bang on, spot on, perfect. Mashed it at 64 for an hour in total, and then my original gravity should be 1040, but mine's 1038. So what I expect is going to happen is it's going to get up to 1060-ish. It actually says here original gravity 1059, starting gravity 1059. So, you know, not too bad at all. All the stats for it are, what do? We do starting gravity 1059, final gravity of 1009, bitterness 24, just give me a second here whilst I just sort this out. talk amongst yourselves. Colours are 8.6. Now with the Oracles that's only 2.3 it was. So I added some Crystal 16 to give it that little bit of colour. Estimated alcohol 6.6%. You know, everything so far is going really well. I'm doing one pot. I've had my sparge arm going. I've recirculated. Everything is going swimmingly well. Just coming up to the boil now. And next time you see me then, it's going to be putting in the hops, which is going to happen pretty much straight away. Okay, that's 60 minutes. We've got a good little boil going on there. There is 5 grams of hallertau, and we'll give that a quick dunk. And I've left my little bit of like a false bottom in the bottom there, so I'm going to have to dig that out with me tongs. But 60 minutes, boiling away. See you in another 50 for the last 5 grams of hallertau before we get a cool down. Right, we've got about 15 minutes to go. So there's my whirl flock. Pop that in. And then we've just got 5 grams of hallertau to pop in. And we're ready to cool it down. Right, 10 minutes left. And there's my last little bit of hops. Not very much at all really, but it said it's giving like 28 IBUs or something like that, wasn't it? Which is not very much really. But here's what it is. See it cooling down. Right, so there we go. You can see all the proteins coming out of it. That'll all drop to the bottom. I'll give it a shake after a couple of days. It's now at 28 degrees and you can actually feel the warmth in it because this yeast says 26 to 32. So I'm going to put the Inkbird on it and I'm going to set the lower limit as 0 and set it at 26 and then the upper limit at 22, so it'll go up to 28 and drop down to 26 and 28, so it'll stay between. That should be okay. It's starting to clear already. So I've got a good 4.5 litres there. There's a third of a pack of the old Mangrove Jack going in it. And you know, under the stairs at their brewery, hopefully it'll ferment out pretty quickly at 26, 28 degrees. Final gravity, oh sorry, the original gravity, this is 1053, which is 6 points down. And I think that's the boil kettle, that's my mash tun boil kettle that made that difference. If I was to do it in the bigger pot, it'd boil a lot quicker and it'd get a lot stronger. Otherwise, everything was okay. The actual pre-boil was 1040, it was just once it cooled down properly it was 1040. So it's obviously the boil kettle that's the problem there. And you can see how clear it's settling out already. You can see the top there and that there, look at that. That's only in a couple of minutes, so I suppose I could have whirlpooled it, but couldn't be bothered. So, a little bit of the old Mangrove Jacks. And that's us done for today. So, I've right enjoyed myself today. It's been a while, it's been a couple of weeks at least, and I need to get back into the old brewing. I've got some Simcoe hops over there, so I'm going to do a bit of a smash with that next, I think. Well, you know, that's it for now. So, as usual, you can like and subscribe to the channel. So I think we're on 39 at the minute, and 2 of them are me. So 37 subscribers. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, leave us a comment below if you want, and you can follow me on the old Instagram, hashtag the Homebrew Journey or hashtag hands up if you love brewing. And there you go, that's it. So what's just left to say is ta-ra, I'll see you next time for episode 51. Ooh. And why don't you go out and brew something rustic?